Hello, everyone. It's Jerry at the Fledge. Welcome to another episode of Every Damn Day. Today on the show, we've got our good friend Danielle. How you doing, Danielle?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. So let's jump right in. Tell us about yourself and your projects you're working on.
All right. Well, I'm Danielle. I went to Grand Ledge High School, graduated in 2009. Took classes at LCC, so I have an associate's in. It's been so long, I can't even remember what it's called. But anyway, I do graphic design, so I have a lot of things I do on the side with that. I'm an owner of Lithic Creations with my parents. So we work with like stone jewelry, and we cut like a lot of different pieces for specimens. We do a lot of educational stuff. We work very closely with the Central Michigan Lapidary Mineral Society, that kind of stuff. And then I'm also a painter. So I haven't been able to continue my apprenticeship with Mina Greco Hall as of right now, just being safe with COVID and everything. But I've been working with her for almost 8 years now. And so I've been working in oil painting. And so I've done quite a few things with her. And then I live in Lansing on the north side. And yeah.
Were you born in Grand Ledge?
I was born in Lansing. I actually, like, the house I started growing up in, I actually live like across right behind it. So I bought my grandma's house. So I see my child home every day when I let the dogs out.
That's nice. Where is Lithic Creations at? Do you have a building or is it all online?
So our storefront's online, but like if we were to have like where we work and everything, it would probably be like my parents' garage.
Oh, okay.
And then the back porch. So we have like I think it's 3 different saws right now. We have a total of 5 or 6 wheels. I don't know, my dad's going to watch this and be like, no, we have 7 or something. But I know we have a lot of wheels. We also have a couple machines inside as well. And then the wheels and stuff we move when we were doing like shows and everything. So those will come with us. And then we'll actually give demonstrations to people on how, we create things like this. And then the stones that sit in them and everything. So that's primarily where we work.
So I used to have this tumbler that would polish rocks when I was a kid. Is that, you have some of that stuff?
Yeah, so we have tumblers. What's really cool about my dad is that like he will, if he just wants something and like, let's say it's too expensive, he'll just MacGyver it, he'll make it. So actually one of our rock tumblers is made out of an old printer. And so that's one we use a lot too. So I mean, we have like the professional stuff, and then we also like have our own machines, and rock tumblers is one of them. So we have quite a few of those.
That's pretty awesome. So you've been doing that for 8 years? Is that what you?
So I've been painting for 8 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How long has Lithic Creation been around?
Well, like formally now, almost 2 years, I think.
Okay.
I know we like LLC'd in October. So I think it's been, maybe it's been a little over 2 years then. So yeah, that we formally were a business. Before that, my dad was like buying collections, and we've been kind of working with stones really our entire life. Like I've been collecting them as kids. My parents go up to Lake Superior all the time, and they look for agates. And so that's what they do with their anniversary a lot. And that's kind of actually like how they started this a little bit, is that they went up north, up to Lake Superior, brought back all of these rocks. And my dad was like, I'm going to polish these, and I'm going to cut them, and I'm going to do all this. And then all of a sudden we were just rolling. So, I mean, we've been doing the rock thing for years, but as a business, probably like 2.
And how is it working with your parents?
It's fun. Like, that's the first thing that comes to mind is like, it is fun. But like, it is weird because now it's like, I ask them, like, is this, like, am I making a good decision? Am I doing this or something? And they'll just be like, I don't know. Like, yes, like, just do it. So it's weird just because, like, I'm not used to, I wouldn't say, like, being an equal, but, like, we're owners together. That's what we do. So it's a lot of fun, and it's really cool to see, like, I don't know, all of our talents that we do come together it's just like this family project, and we get to hang out all the time, which I'm a big fan of. So
Yeah, my family works with me at the Fledge, and I love it. I love hanging out and all of that. But sometimes when things get stressful, they get stressful.
yeah.
It's a different stressful. So it was kind of a loaded question too, since you said your dad might be watching at some point.
Yeah, I know he's gonna watch this too, so I got to remember like I get all the facts right.
So I kind of see you're making jewelry, but I didn't quite catch you were saying is there an educational aspect to it too?
Yeah, that's something we're like slowly working on. We kind of got halted a little bit with COVID, but as to be expected when we can't really have groups of people together. But like my dad got in touch with the Michigan Lapidary or Central Michigan Lapidary and Mineral Society, and he ended up becoming vice president of it. So their main focus is like when they do their rock shows and things is they actually work with like a lot of schools, and they'll bring in field trips, and they'll do like all this fun stuff with fossils, and the club itself will like take trips to Kentucky or Tennessee to go find geodes and learn about that, and they give out like maps of different like rocks and different soils you can find and everything like that. And so the big part of that is the educational side of like rocks are kind of cool. So we're showing kids that, and like bringing all that aspect into it. We kind of want to continue that with Lithic creation. So down the road, I am kind of like trying to figure out how we can bring in more resources of like what, when someone sees a stone, I'm not expecting them to know like, oh, that's a chrysocolla that has another like sodalite deposit in it. Like you're not going to know that. But what I'm trying to do with like our stone jewelry is show you like this gorgeous ring and then tell you a bunch about it. And that can range from like when I put a ring online, I put like where it came from, what its name is, a little bit of information about it. And then like there's even, metaphysical properties that come around or are associated with crystals, stuff like that. So I do include that. I kind of do a little bit of research of like what zodiacs are associated with it. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that goes into like the rocks, and I want you to know that. Yeah. So the website is lithiccreation.com. And then I'm in the process of reorganizing it. I redid the entire thing, I think about a month and a half ago. So now I'm slowly putting up more products and everything. And the new design website is great, but I do include all that information as well and all the research that goes into it. So
that sounds like more than just a jewelry store, right?
Yeah,
I mean, then
we try to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you showed us a ring. You've got a ring on right now. What's that stone that's in that ring?
This is a black agate. So I don't know if you can like see the lines in it. Maybe. Oh, you can see one of the big lines. Yeah. Yep. So there we go. Yep. So I mean, it's just it's got like the agate breaks that come into like into the rock itself, but it's just the stone is black, so it's kind of listed as a black agate, but there's tons of different kind of agates, all different kinds.
So you said they're cool. What's the cool thing about rocks for you?
I don't want to like nerd out too much, but like
please nerd out.
Well, even like when I was a kid, like just Petoskey stones and then the fossils and like learning that like Petoskey stones, for example, came from like glacier movements, from like when the Great Lakes were being formed and stuff like that. You can only find them, on like certain beaches and everything. Like that's where like I think rocks are cool because like you just look at a rock and like not realize that there's so much on why that rock is there like right now. And to me that just, I don't know, it's kind of brings the whole universe together kind of a thing. Like 10 million years ago, a bunch of, mountains moved and picked up these fossils. And then this is why I have this in my hand right now, and Michigan has like a ton of really cool rocks. Like there's the green, our state stone is like green Isle oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm blanking on it, but it looks like the shell of a turtle, right? And you can only find it in one part of Michigan, and it's like a super rare stone. Or like another really cool stone from Michigan. It's it's called I got all nervous. I'm blanking on my stones. It's slag. So it's a form of slag. And like back when, Michigan was heavy with like boats going back and forth and oil and everything, it was the slag was created because it would sit on top of the water. And then as like, time went on and waves crashed and everything, you get this beautiful blue, slag that comes out. And like, and it's gorgeous to work with, and it only like comes out of Michigan. And there's green slag, there's blue slag. I mean, you can find all different kinds, and it only came from like this trade that we had in Michigan going on in the Great Lakes. So there's a lot of cool stuff about rocks.
Yeah, I remember picking up a rock once that was on the beach and throwing it back out to the water, and then feeling guilty that it probably took it 1,000 years to get to the beach there. And I just put it back where it started. It was probably pissed at me.
I was like, no, it took me so long.
So painting, you paint too. You want to tell us some about that as well?
Yeah, so I'm going back to Eagle Monk, April, or the month of April, to be like their artist of the month. So I'll have some paintings up there again. I got very lucky to be invited back by Sonia. She's fantastic. But yeah, I don't know. In high school, I never, my dad always knew I could draw. I knew I could draw. I just never pursued it in high school or anything because I was too busy going to football games or whatever I was doing. And then I got out of high school, and I was going through college, and I started doodling. And then the more I started doodling, I was just like, oh, I forgot I knew how to draw. And then it was, just a line up events. And I had a regular one said when I worked at Cracker Barrel, and that was back when I was 18, 19 years old. And they were like, you're really good. You should talk to Nina. She teaches classes and all this other stuff. So I bring this stuff to Mina. I've never had a lick of professional training in my life. And she was just like, yes, we're going to paint together forever now. and she's this little old Italian woman. She's 5'1" maybe. She's just super spicy as hell. She just she'll tell you how it is every time. And then I find out she's just done all this amazing stuff in Lansing. She helped start the Mid-Michigan Art Gallery, or the Lansing Art Gallery. She is a national treasure in Italy. She's shown at the Louvre. She's shown in Hungary. And she wrote a book. She's just an all around, when I'm painting at her house, she'll just get a ribbon in the mail, that she won another art exhibit or something like that. And she's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then we'll just put it on the wall. And, I mean, she's so cool. But it was, I don't really believe in coincidence, but it was, I don't know, I just met her one day and that was it. And it's just never gone anywhere. So she taught me how to traditionally and correctly paint and build paintings, and actually have a focus in how to put colors together and blend and yeah, ever since then it's expanded to me doing, the pours I did at the Fledge and being able to really express artistically this talent that I didn't use for years.
So how can we see your paintings? Eagle Monk in April.
Eagle Monk in April. Yeah, Mike Marriott from Opportunity Arts. We've been talking, and he's really trying to peer pressure me into art prize. So I may be there.
Oh, good.
So we'll see. I don't know. That's a big project. So I'm trying to. If I'm going to do that, I want to give it the appropriate time. And then other than that, I am currently in the process of LLCing my own design part and painting part. So I'm gonna have some stuff go online. I've been doodling and learning how to do sticker designs and stuff too. So you may see more of my stuff online here shortly.
Okay. And you've got a couple projects that you wanted to talk about that are kind of related to this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot going on, I guess, all the time. But we have Lithic's doing a lot of cool stuff right now. And then like I do have my side stuff with my paintings and everything, but like the big thing we're doing right now, and it's taken us months, but we made 300 wire wrapped raw amethyst necklaces. And then I have some contacts that are at Sparrow and McLaren. And so what we wanted to do is I'm working on getting them all like packaged and, and put everything together. And then we're going to give them to all of the nurses that worked in COVID units and ICU units. And then, kind of get those out there as like, I know it's not much, but like it's we wanted to say thank you. And like amethyst is known as being a protection stone, and it's purple and it's really pretty. So we decided we wanted to do a bunch of necklaces for like those, first responders and healthcare workers. So.
Yeah, and to help protect them. I love that whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So anything else that you're working on that you want to make sure you mention too?
Yeah, so we have like with COVID, me and my parents really have like stayed apart because I still work in the public and I would hate to, to get them sick or anything. So it's hard to like work together when I don't really go inside their house, and that's where all of our machines are. So what we've kind of done is, you kind of just move on and you persevere, and we've decided we're kind of working on our own projects right now. So like where my forte is kind of in web design and, graphic design and, doing all like the marketing kind of stuff like that. So I've been, like I said, working on, let's do the project of the necklaces. My dad has a new project where he's working. My dad's a huge fisherman. And we actually my cousin owns a company called Two Track Custom Rods. And he like does amazing work. It's ridiculous what he can do. But what we did is we started cutting stones that'll fit into the bottom of your rod. And then they actually I'm not going to explain it right, but my dad wrote it down. We're making custom stone inserts for fly rods and fly rod reel seat/butts. And so we're actually doing this with my cousin's company, and then we're working with another guy out of New York, and it's from Colville Outfitters, and doing their rods as well. So my dad's got his own little project, and then my mom helps finish up all the 300 necklaces, but she's also like expanding into, her new projects. Like we did start playing with gauges. And so now we're trying to figure out a better system to make, gauges happen with all of the custom stones and different, we're working with coins now and good luck, Chinese good luck coins, which is kind of cool. And we're working with dead bugs, just random stuff, trying to figure out cool ways of that. So she's got her own project. So if it was kind of like a blessing in disguise for us to kind of have to separate and regroup, because now we have even more other things going on. So those are all
power of diversity.
Right. Right.
So what would you kind of say your mission is in all of this that you're trying to do? What's your vision of where you're going? Or
I think our main vision is just to create a family business, something that we love and enjoy, but at the same time, when we give it or, put it out to the community, we want it to have, education attached. We want it to be somewhat environmentally friendly. We only used we used recycled copper. We used recycled silver. We keep our own scrap pieces, and then we send them back, have them melted down and reuse them. And then, building tumblers out of rock printers. We try to be, somewhat environmentally conscious of what we're doing, and then sourcing our stuff correctly. And then, when we put it out to the community, it's a good product. It's not it's got time into it. It's a piece you're going to have forever. And then it also gives us the ability to give back. So we can sponsor different, kids clubs or teams, or, we donate to silent auctions and that kind of stuff all the time. So I think that's our mission, is to be to put, I guess, get what we put in, you know what I mean? Or maybe I'm saying that backwards, but yeah.
I get it.
You get what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
we know
want
what
to
you're saying.
put out and get good back. Like that's it. So
So I'm having like a small epiphany here that, you know, you see, you're a kid and you see all these beautiful rocks and you want to start understanding where they came from and what they are. And that gets you into geology. And geology can be important because of all of the things that we have to do with rocks and minerals, or even identifying, you know, if there's water somewhere, or if there's oil. Not that I want to promote that. So it's important to do this type of stuff because, I mean, the whole field of geology is important, right?
yeah, absolutely.
And our climate change and environmental impacts that we have, it's probably the geologists that will be a big part in solving that. So that's my epiphany I just had on our show, is how from looking at a rock, yeah, rocks are cool. I did have a rock collection when I was a kid, and I did, you know, do that tumbler type thing, and yeah, it was fun. So,
Yeah.
is there something you do every damn day to push that mission forward?
Yeah. I see. I had to think about this question for a minute too, because Mike from Opportunity Arts, he did tell me you were going to bring this up, and I was like, what do I do every damn day? And like, I figured it out. I have a planner. That's what I do every damn day. And then I've expanded that this year into now I have a bullet journal too. So like I have a planner because you know I will forget you know where I put my head if I don't write it down. But that started those you know good habits of like having goals and everything, and then I expanded it into now I have a bullet journal where like if I want to put a certain affirmation or if I want to have a certain goal or if I'm thankful for something, I just write it down and it's just right there. And I think that like keeps me a little more grounded, you know, on where I want to go, you know, where we are right now kind of a thing, you know, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. Like no one really has like the right answer or emotional response. And I get that, but like, that's how I'm trying to handle it for myself is so I can incorporate the business. I can incorporate, you know, my personal stuff. I can incorporate and process whatever's going on. And then I just put it in my bullet journal.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I have
Yep.
my journals that I keep. Mine says "work happy."
Yeah. Yeah. I prefer the ones that don't have like lines, you know what I mean? Because sometimes I just want to scribble. But
Those are my other books. I keep a lot of these. I have a blank one and a lined one. I have I filled one book already with shows because this is my show book right here. So little notes that you tell me and stuff. So we daisy chained the shows together. And yesterday on the show, I had Paul. He's from New York City, and we talked about progressive politics and being an artist. He's got a master's in fine arts and stuff like that from Yale. And his question that he wanted me to ask you was, how does art, and maybe in particular art history, kind of shape the way you're looking at things right now with COVID and you know, the political situation and the human rights situation? Do you go back on your art and look at that? And I don't know, I'm making the question too complicated.
No, you're good. I mean, just like I was talking about earlier, like there's no correct emotional response for something that I think collectively everyone right now has never been through. So I think that's where art becomes incredibly important, even if and it doesn't have to be just painting. It could be music. It could be, dry. It could be like taking a bunch of sticky notes together and gluing them into, you know, something amazing. Whatever you want to do, that's your art, then do it. So I think right now that's important because like it's your expression and there's no wrong way to do art. You know, and there's if you want to drink 6 White Claws and cry while you paint, then do it. You know, like I think that's incredibly important right now. And I think art's going to play a big role in a lot of people's mental health, especially dealing with a lot, not just COVID, but like in general, what's going on in this collective shift. I think art's going to pull a lot of people through that. And art history, that was one of my favorite classes in college I took. I was more into it just because like I loved hearing just sometimes how crazy artists are. Like Caravaggio, he was a nut, best painter ever, but he was a nut. So I think like if you look back on how people in art history handled certain situations, it's reflected in their art. And I think in the next couple of years, we are going to see some amazing works from a lot of people, like whether it's a novel or a painting or, anything artistically coming out. I think we're going to see some amazing work because people need that right now.
Yeah, I miss the constant flow of art that I used to have before COVID.
Yeah.
There were people in here all the time doing paintings, and I can't wait till those paintings come out of the basements or the back rooms or whatever and start to see exactly what people are doing, because not everybody is showing it. Not everybody has a place to show it. And I think it's going to be amazing. I like what you're saying about that.
Yeah, so, we're going to see some wild stuff come out. So,
have you done anything? Do you think that COVID has, not just your view of COVID or the emotional response to it, but is it changing what you're doing, like the way you put your art together, what you paint, or?
I don't. That's a great question because honestly, I'm not sure yet. I've only done a few paintings. So like because I work in the restaurant industry, I've taken a couple breaks from going to work. And like in those, I think I actually started experimenting more of like different techniques just because like I no longer had that every Tuesday at Mina's house learning, this certain technique in this certain way. I didn't have that anymore. So now it was just kind of like I was in charge of my own expression coming out. So I picked up brushes I've never used. I picked up paints and I mixed things together that I don't normally do. So like mine was more, I don't know how they're going to come out yet. I don't know what the change is going to be because mine was just more experimenting because I just didn't have a certain way I did it, or I didn't have a certain project I was working on. Mine was just like, let's draw an eyeball. And so I just, paint an eyeball, or like I did one painting that has like, I like doing galaxy skies and stuff. That's something I do a lot. And then I just decided to draw some lips. So it's like lips and the stars. Like it doesn't make sense, but that's what I did.
It's 2020. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Tomorrow on the show, I've got Brent Forsberg. And if you don't know who that is, he's a local developer. What question would you like me to pass to Brent?
I think, especially with like right now, there's two ways to look at it. It's either a glass half full or half empty kind of situation. It's kind of everything that's going on. So my question would be like, how do you and what are you grateful for? That's like came out of this.
I like the question. He's going to like the question. And I'm going to ask you the question. What are you grateful for that came out of this?
I learned, especially having to stay away, like if you haven't noticed, like, working with my parents all the time, my family is very, very close, especially with like my aunts and uncles and everything on my mom's side too. And like, my little cousin could catch a frog and we'd probably all go out to dinner and just be like, yay, good job. And we couldn't do that anymore. So I think like I became more grateful having to put space between us because I wasn't doing it, like we had to do it just for safety. It's like, I love you so much. I'm going to Zoom meeting you, instead. So I think that's what I was grateful for is like, wow, I get to love somebody that much. You know what I mean? And I have all of these people surrounding me that love me that much. Like, and I never really noticed it because I had to put space between us. So I think that's what I'm the most grateful for out of this. She talks a lot.
I really like that answer because it's, you're grateful that you got to be grateful almost, right?
Yeah.
And that you got to notice the things that we were maybe taking for granted. That's going to make me reflect a lot on what I might be taking for granted that's kind of popped out on me. I like that answer a lot. What do you want to take us out with? did you talk about all your events? Do you have some great advice for us? Do you just want to say deuces? I got to go take care of the cat.
Yeah, yeah, that was, she's like,
Let's see the cat. Yeah.
I haven't given her attention in like, a half an hour, so she had to let me know. She's not cool with that.
What's her name?
Her name's Nala.
Nala?
Nala, yeah. Just that. So, I mean, and maybe this is a great way to take us out. So me and Nala, I don't have any great advice, that's for sure. I'm not saying I did great in all this either. I don't really think there was a right way to go about it. But I mean, I don't know. I go outside and look at a rock.
Yeah, that is great advice.
Yeah. Go out, just go see what kind of rocks are out there. And if you have any questions, hit me up. I can probably tell you what kind of rock it is.
All right. We're going to do that. I'm going to go find a rock and come back at you and ask you what it is.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Well, tomorrow on the show, we got Brent Forsberg, and every damn day we're here at 2 p.m. So stay tuned for more every damn days, at least for another 223 of them. So thank you very much, Danielle, and everybody. I will see you later. See you.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for being on. Bye-bye.